Hello, I'm Ronnie and welcome to my channel. This is a refilm of the ear warmers I did using loop yarn last year. I had a couple requests to try to film this at a different angle, so here's my second attempt. Now to start your ear warmers, what you want to do is take a couple of these loops out so you're left with just a tail. And they're really easy to open, these loops are. They're connected right at the base and they can just be easily cut apart with a pair of scissors. To begin this project, you're going to be making a chain with your loops. So you'll want to put your second loop in through the first loop to make your chain. See, just like this. You put it in underneath and through. And you'll see it looks like a crochet chain. When you're making this chain, however long you make it, and what I do is I test it around my head. So I usually end up chaining anywhere between 25 to maybe 30 chains as my first row. You want to make sure that it's not getting twisted as you go. Now this part is a little tricky to show you. You want to bring your chain around in a circle, and you take the last loop that you have off that chain and put it through the first chain. What I like to do now is just bring all my yarn through. I think it's just easier to work this way. So you know you're at the beginning always when you see that tail hanging down. So your next chain on the yarn strand, or your next loop I should say, goes into the next chain. So there's your first, and my thumb there is on the second. And then you're going to push that loop through and give it a little tug. These stay fairly well because the yarn is puffy. So then you grab your next loop behind and you put it through your next chain, right where my thumb is. You see, I just go back through and give them a little tug. Now, if you end up missing a loop and you have to go back, it's really easy to fix. You just back the loops out, go back and pick up the loop that you missed. And you see they're not coming out. And just go loop by loop. And this is basically what you're going to do however many times you go around. That means however thick or wide you want your band to be. You can make a thinner one and just go around doing this maybe twice. I usually go 3 times around. And you always know when you've completed the circle when you get back to that tail hanging down. Now this is where I've gone all the way around the first time, pulling my loops through. So now I begin the second row of loops being pulled through. The headband now will start to take form and will be easier and easier to work on. It'll start having more structure. You pull your loops from the back to the front. Every once in a while too, I turn it over to make sure I haven't missed a loop. Now this is my 3rd time going around, pulling loops through, and you can see kind of a little pattern now. Okay, now I've gone around 3 times. There's that tail hanging down. Now this is the row where you're finishing, so it's the same as the first row. The loop I have in my right hand is going through the loop I have in my left hand, and it's creating a chain on top. So you're not bringing any more loops in, you're just working with the loops that are sticking up. The loop on the right is going through the loop on the left. And I should mention my loop yarn itself is still attached. I haven't cut it off yet, and you will see why when I finish this row. Okay, here we are all the way back to the end. There's the tail hanging down. And the loop in my right hand is actually still attached to the yarn strand itself. So I'll open up those loops like I did before. Cut a tail, and I put that through the last loop just to connect it. Then I turn it inside out and I just weave that tail in, just randomly. I don't put knots or anything like that in, I just weave it in where I can fit it. Once I get the tail secured in a few snug spots, I just cut off the excess. And I do this with the beginning tail as well. I love making these because I can watch a TV show or listen to a podcast and get one done in about 45 minutes. To finish these off, I usually like to put some pretty buttons or something on them. You can usually get those at a really good price at Hobby Lobby or someplace, so I keep my eye open. For this one, I had a flower from the craft store that had a back on it that I could secure it with. So that's what I used on this one. Thank you so much for watching, and if you have any questions, please contact me. Have a great day.